Welcome back to the Living Soil Lab family. If you've been searching for that magical potion that transforms ordinary gardens into thriving green paradises, you've found it. Today, we're diving deep into the world of compost tea brewing, nature's own liquid fertilizer that has been quietly revolutionizing gardens across the world. Whether you're a weekend warrior tending to a few tomato plants or a seasoned grower managing acres of crops, this comprehensive guide will transform how you think about plant nutrition forever. Imagine if you could capture all the beneficial microorganisms, nutrients, and life-giving properties of your best compost and deliver them directly to your plants in liquid form. That's exactly what compost tea accomplishes, and it's nothing short of gardening alchemy. This amber-colored liquid gold is created by steeping high-quality compost in water, allowing billions of beneficial bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes to multiply and create a concentrated biological powerhouse. The magic happens at the microscopic level. When you apply compost tea to your plants, you're not just feeding them nutrients, you're inoculating your soil with an entire ecosystem of beneficial microorganisms that work symbiotically with plant roots. These microscopic allies help plants absorb nutrients more efficiently, fight off diseases, improve soil structure, and even communicate with each other through complex chemical signals. The result is plants that grow faster, produce more abundantly, and resist stress with remarkable resilience. What really sets compost tea apart from synthetic fertilizers is its ability to improve soil health over time, rather than just, providing a quick nutrient fix. While chemical fertilizers can actually harm beneficial soil microbes, compost tea enhances the soil food web, creating a self-sustaining system that continues to benefit your garden long after application. Plants treated with compost tea often show increased root development, improved nutrient uptake, enhanced disease resistance, and, honestly, significantly better yields compared to those fed with conventional fertilizers alone. The foundation of exceptional compost tea begins with selecting the right compost, and this decision will really make or break your brewing success. Not all compost is created equal, and understanding the differences between various types will elevate your tea from mediocre to magnificent. The ideal compost for brewing should be well-aged, typically between 6 months to 2 years old, with a rich, earthy smell that kind of reminds you of fresh forest soil. High-quality compost should have a balanced carbon-to-nitrogen ratio, ideally around 25:1, and should be teeming with diverse microbial life. You can tell good compost by its texture. It should crumble easily in your hands, have a dark brown to black color, and contain no recognizable organic matter from its original ingredients. Oh, and it's important to avoid compost that smells sour, ammonia-like, or putrid, as these odors indicate anaerobic decomposition that can harm your plants. Homemade compost often produces the best results because you control the ingredients and composting process. However, commercially available compost can be excellent if you choose reputable suppliers who focus on biological diversity rather than just nutrient content. Look for compost made from diverse organic materials including kitchen scraps, yard waste, and aged manures. Mushroom compost, worm castings, and forest-based composts are particularly excellent choices for tea brewing because they contain high concentrations of beneficial fungi and bacteria. When evaluating compost quality, perform a simple squeeze test. Just grab a handful of moist compost and squeeze it firmly. It should hold together when squeezed but crumble apart when disturbed. If water drips out, it's too wet. If it won't bind together at all, it may be too dry or not fully decomposed. The perfect compost for tea brewing feels like rich chocolate cake crumbs and has that distinctive sweet, earthy aroma that signals biological activity. Creating perfect compost tea is part science, part art, and honestly, it's entirely rewarding once you master the fundamental principles. The brewing process revolves around creating optimal conditions for beneficial microorganisms to multiply exponentially, transforming a handful of compost into billions of plant-helping allies. The key to success lies in maintaining adequate oxygen levels, proper temperature, and the right nutrient balance throughout the brewing period. Start by filling a 5-gallon bucket with non-chlorinated water. Chlorine kills the very microbes you're trying to cultivate. If you only have access to chlorinated tap water, let it sit uncovered for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to evaporate, or use a dechlorination tablet. Alright, so you'll want to add about 2 cups of high-quality compost to your water. This gives you a ratio of roughly 1 part compost to 10 parts water. That balance, provides enough organic matter to feed all those helpful microbes, but not so much that you risk creating those anaerobic conditions that could make your tea toxic. Aeration is, honestly, absolutely critical for successful brewing. Without a constant supply of oxygen, the beneficial aerobic bacteria just die off, and those harmful anaerobic bacteria can take over. That creates a putrid-smelling liquid which, could actually damage or even kill your plants. To keep oxygen levels up, use an aquarium pump with an air stone to maintain continuous bubbling throughout the entire brewing process. The water should look kind of like a gently boiling pot, with streams of bubbles rising all the time to the surface. And be sure to position the air stone right at the bottom of your container so you get maximum oxygen distribution. Temperature control significantly affects brewing success. The ideal temperature range is between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. This range allows beneficial microorganisms to multiply rapidly without encouraging harmful bacteria. If you're working in cooler conditions, just extend the brewing time a bit. And in warmer weather, you'll want to monitor the tea a little more closely to prevent overbrewing. The standard brewing time is usually between 24 and 48 hours. But really, you'll know your tea is ready when it develops a pleasant, earthy smell and takes on a rich brown color, kind of like weak coffee. Once you've mastered basic compost tea brewing, you can actually supercharge your liquid fertilizer by incorporating additional ingredients that boost both nutrient content and microbial diversity. These amendments transform good compost tea into an extraordinary plant tonic that addresses specific nutritional needs and enhances the overall biological activity of your brew. Molasses serves as the primary food source for multiplying microorganisms during the brewing process. You'll want to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses per 5 gallons of water right at the beginning of your brew cycle. The molasses provides simple sugars that fuel rapid bacterial reproduction, and that, in turn, dramatically increases the microbial population in your finished tea. Blackstrap molasses is particularly beneficial because it contains additional minerals, including potassium, iron, and calcium, that really enhance plant nutrition. Kelp meal adds a powerhouse of trace minerals and natural growth hormones that, honestly, plants just crave. This sea-based amendment provides more than 60 trace elements in forms that plants can readily absorb, plus those natural plant growth regulators that help stimulate root development and boost overall plant vigor. Fish emulsion provides readily available nitrogen and encourages the development of beneficial bacteria that specifically help plants process nitrogen more efficiently. Use 1 tablespoon per 5 gallons, but, be prepared for a stronger odor during brewing. For gardeners dealing with specific soil deficiencies, rock dust amendments like azomite or granite dust can be added to provide long-term mineral nutrition. These slowly release trace minerals over time, building soil fertility with each application. The true magic of compost tea reveals itself in proper application timing and techniques. Understanding when, how, and how often to apply your liquid gold determines whether your plants will simply benefit or absolutely thrive under your care. For soil application, apply compost tea in the early morning or late evening when temperatures are cooler and evaporation rates are lower. This timing allows maximum soil penetration and gives microorganisms the best chance to establish themselves in the root zone. Dilute your finished tea at a ratio of 1:1 with clean water for general applications, or use it full strength for plants showing signs of stress or heavy nutrient demands. Apply approximately 1 gallon of diluted tea per 100 square feet of garden space, ensuring thorough soil saturation around plant root zones. Foliar applications provide rapid nutrient uptake and can quickly address deficiency symptoms or boost plant immunity before stressful periods. Strain your compost tea through cheesecloth or a fine mesh to remove particles that might clog spray equipment, then dilute it 1:2 with water for foliar use. Apply during calm morning hours when leaf stomata are open and temperatures are moderate. Avoid spraying during hot afternoon periods when leaves might burn, or during windy conditions that reduce spray efficiency. Frequency of application depends on your plant's growth stage and nutritional needs. Young seedlings benefit from weekly diluted applications, while established plants during peak growing season can handle bi-weekly full-strength treatments. During flowering and fruiting periods, increase application frequency to support the additional nutritional demands of reproductive growth. Container plants often need more frequent applications than ground-planted specimens because their root systems have limited access to soil nutrients. Different plant types respond uniquely to compost tea applications. Heavy feeders like tomatoes, peppers, and corn benefit from weekly applications throughout the growing season. Fruit trees respond exceptionally well to monthly deep soil drenching combined with periodic foliar feeding. Leafy greens show rapid response to diluted foliar applications every 10 days, while root vegetables prefer soil applications that encourage strong root development without excessive foliar growth. The timing of your brewing cycle should align with your application schedule, since compost tea loses effectiveness rapidly after brewing completes. Use your tea within 4 hours of finishing the brewing process for maximum microbial activity. If you must store tea briefly, keep it cool and continue light aeration, but never store compost tea for more than 12 hours as beneficial microorganisms will die off and the tea may turn anaerobic. Seasonal considerations also influence application strategies. Spring applications jumpstart soil biological activity after winter dormancy, while summer applications help plants cope with heat stress and maintain growth momentum. Fall applications prepare plants for winter by strengthening root systems and improving cold tolerance. Even winter applications in mild climates can benefit dormant plants by maintaining soil biological activity. Monitor your plant's responses to establish personalized application schedules. Plants receiving optimal compost tea nutrition display vigorous growth, deep green coloration, strong pest resistance, and abundant flowering and fruiting. Over-application rarely causes problems like synthetic fertilizer burn, but watch for excessive vegetative growth at the expense of flowering and fruiting plants. Remember that compost tea works best as part of a holistic soil health approach. Combine regular applications with organic mulching, cover cropping, and minimal soil disturbance to create truly thriving garden ecosystems. The synergistic effects of these practices amplify compost tea benefits far beyond what any single input can achieve. Your journey into compost tea brewing opens doors to understanding the fascinating world of soil biology and plant nutrition. Each batch you brew connects you more deeply with the living systems that sustain all garden life. As you gain experience, you'll start to develop an intuitive understanding of how your specific plants respond to different tea formulations and application methods. It really becomes second nature over time. The investment you make in time and materials for compost tea brewing, well, it pays incredible dividends in plant health, soil improvement, and the sheer abundance of your harvest. It's honestly pretty amazing to see the difference. More importantly, this practice actually aligns your gardening with natural systems that have sustained plant life for, millions of years. Every application feeds not just your plants, but the entire web of life that makes healthy gardens possible. That's a wrap on our comprehensive guide to compost tea brewing. If this deep dive into liquid gold has inspired you to transform your garden, make sure to subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for more cutting-edge organic gardening techniques. And hey, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest discoveries in sustainable growing methods. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to unlock the secrets of thriving, naturally healthy plants. Together, we're building a community of growers who understand that the best gardens really do grow from the ground up.